Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is Culture and Consequence with Carmen and Andrea. Hey, what's up, Andrea? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Because normally in our conversations, I would say anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's start that over. No. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I love this doctor. I really do. But they're all pushing those weight loss things.
Oh,
the GLP-1s or whatever, and
they're pushing it?
I don't know if she's pushing it, but I was like, you know what? I'm so stressed out because I really want to get back to that place of running or whatever, because you have that little kind of conversation, but you can't talk to them about anything other than what the visit is for, because then you have to, it's such orange. Like, I want to go back to the day where you can go to the doctors. Like, I remember Dr. Unger, who is my favorite doctor. He's since retired, but I would go get my GYN from him. I would, and it would be one visit, and you'd go in early, you'd get your blood work from somebody else in the office. He would have you sit in his actual office, not in the room, but in his office. And he would be like, so what's going on? Okay, let's go do the exam. And that feels like it was so long ago.
It's so different I don't think I've ever had that exactly, but I have had doctors that spend a little more time with you. But yeah, if there's, a lot of times what I do throughout the year I've started doing is I keep a list of all of my, my shoulder's doing this, and
right.
I'm waking up at this time every night, I have all of my things, right? Like my ear hurts sometimes, and so I go in with my list, and they're like, oh, well, you'd have to see somebody else for that. And we'd have to schedule another appointment for this. It's like,
yeah, because they won't talk to you about, all I said to her was I was having issues sleeping. And I mean, not that I meant for this to be the conversation, but it's going to be the conversation. I don't care. And you had mentioned something that you've been doing. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can try that. And that's like, you know what, let's set up a different appointment for that. And I'm like, so I had mentioned, I'm like, I can't sleep. And when I can't sleep very well, and it's really changed a lot. I've always been a light sleeper, but this is a little bit beyond. And so when I don't sleep well, I don't eat well, because then I don't work out well. You know what I mean? And I'm in that weird cycle, and then I'm so tired by the end of let's say the week of not sleeping, that then I sleep really well. I wake up the next morning, I'm like, yes. And then it just deteriorates. So she was just like, well, there's a lot of weight loss drugs now available. And I'm like, I'm not going to take weight loss. That's not the first answer I want to hear.
Well, and how's that? How is it related? I don't know.
Well, because I am, she's trying to say because we can't have the conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm 25. I've already admitted this one. Okay. I'm 25, 30 pounds overweight. And so I need to lose that weight, and that's fair. I mean, I feel like I've been in that struggle with the thyroid medication, and I've just been, and I'm still not settled. And after the surgery, I swear to God, everyone keeps telling me that surgery did not mess up my thyroid, but I didn't have a problem with my thyroid before then.
Yeah, they don't know that. Nobody knows that.
None of them, they're like, no, those are two separate things. I'm like, nobody invaded my body before. Dr. Gerhardt was all up in there
now, right?
I'm sorry?
You have metal in your body now. Something's different.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not trying, but I'm just saying all of this went, my hip is great, but everything else feels like whatever. Anyway, so I said, I don't want to take any medication because I have a sleep problem. I'm not trying to be mean.
Right.
And I honestly, and again, I'm not against it. I don't know if you saw the show. Cynthia talked about it because she's been on it, and I'm all for people doing it, but I don't think that should be my first. I don't think being 25 pounds overweight is the reason why I'm not sleeping. I think it's something else. And anyways, I just was kind of I left there kind of sad. I'm so tired of our health insurance in this country. I'm tired of the way in which we our patients, you know? And
Yeah.
she's a great doctor. My doctor is an amazing doctor. And even I was just like disappointed.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're bound by the system that they're in, right? Like they have like the billing is like, we have to put this code in for your visit. You know what I mean? Like that's why you have to have another visit for something else, or else they literally can't get paid. I mean, it's such a fucking mess.
It's our health insurance situation is problematic, which leads us into our first topic of conversation, which is that, you know, the Democrats caved, right? So we're not going to probably have Obamacare after this year. I mean, what do you think? How do you feel about what happened with the shutdown?
Well, how do I feel about it? I'm going to try to be really measured.
You don't have to be.
I think number one, I will say not a lot of good options were there, right? However, if this is where we were going to end up, what was the fucking point?
Exactly. I don't even need to be here. You could just have the show on your own. That's what I was going to say. What was the point?
Yeah. And it's like, I know what the point was. I understand that they had a strategy in terms of the timing of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
The strategy fucking blows, and Chuck Schumer is a weak dipshit.
He needs to go.
Should have been gone years ago. But
I agree. I agree.
But it's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like whatever. We just did a show last week where it was like, this was a good week. Okay. You know what I mean? And it's like, you just knew. I knew, you knew, like, we're going to come back next week and some fucked up shit is going to have happened. Yeah. At least 4 fucked up things are going to have happened. And it's going to just be completely deflating. And, you know, like I said, we may have ended up here anyway. I don't really think that Republicans would have been like, okay, you got us, you know, but I don't know. It just seems like if this is where you were going to go, then why did, you know, people end up without 2 whole paychecks? Why did, you know, SNAP benefits go away, which I don't think even have been restored yet? No. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you put people through all of this pain for absolutely nothing, and to look so fucking weak that people want your head on a platter now.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, this idea that somehow they're playing chess. I'm like, can I just say politicians don't know how to play chess? I'm just going to tell you right now, they don't. I don't care who it is. There's no chess game being played here. You know, I feel the same way. I feel really deflated. I'm really sad because I think it's not just my insurance policy, whatever. I don't care. I'm just kind of like, in general, I don't want to say this word because it sounds so old fashioned even to me, but I don't know what other word encompasses it, but like shenanigans between both parties. Like the fact that the Republicans want to shut down Obamacare and have nothing to motherfucking replace it, and have never had even concepts of a plan for Obamacare or anything to help people have insurance in this country, is just like the hatred of Barack Obama is so deep. Someone wrote on Facebook, was like, you know what? Just change it to Trump Care. Obama's not going to give a fuck. Just change it to Trump Care and he'll be happy and we can all keep it and we can move on. And I was like, you know what? It's true.
It's not just the hatred of Obama. It's the hatred of poor people. They want you to die. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even like they don't care. They actually actively want you to die. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Okay, I don't believe that wholeheartedly, but I can see where you're going with it. But I think that makes me sad on the Republican side. Like, what? I don't understand why you guys are being so evil to accept what you just said. And then the other part of it is the Democrats, you know, I don't know where along the line they thought that it was going to be easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so why get into the fight to begin with? And you know what's worse? As people went out and voted in droves last week and said, we want the fight. We believe in you. We're going to do this. We're in it to win it. And they caved. So
that's why they waited. They waited until after the election.
Yay.
And then, you know, flights started getting canceled.
Right.
And
that's the big
people
one.
with money started to be affected by it. And here we are.
Here we are.
And
That
I'm
is
not
true.
like, I'm not a full-fledged conspiracy theorist. I'm really not.
She is.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But it does.
More than I am. I
More
am
than you
definitely not a
I
conspiracy
mean,
theorist.
it just like you hear all of this stuff like both parties are the same. And I don't believe that. I really don't. But you do have to wonder at the upper echelons. It's like, what are you doing? Who are you serving? Because it's not us.
It's not us.
And if this is the decision making, if this is the strategy, even the way, you know, I mean, it's been talked about a lot, like who actually ended up voting yes. And
right.
you know,
people who are not going to be reelected in the next term.
Right.
They're already right. Or I couldn't believe Tim Kaine. I'm like, you're Hillary Clinton's running mate. What are you doing? I couldn't believe that.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's, I would not to excuse at all because I don't, but like Virginia is chock full of federal workers. So he had like a, you know, an out, I guess, right? To say like all, you know, most of my state works for the federal government and has just missed 2 paychecks. So he was.
I know, but again, they all have excuses. I mean, that's kind of what we're saying. Why get into the fight then? Why bother?
That's what I'm saying. Is like they chose people to say yes, to vote yes for specific reasons, right? The people who were retiring, the people who weren't up for election, people who had an easy way to say, well, this is why, you know.
Well, but on the bright side of things, we had to then make sure there was no more excuses for the dumbass House Speaker, what's his name?
Johnson.
Whatever, Johnson, not to how do you say it? Oh my God, I'm so devoid of coffee right now because I had this doctor's appointment. Like I can't. The Congresswoman was finally sworn into office after all the bullshittery, and now the floodgates of Epstein files and emails are coming out, and I guess that's the upside. How are you feeling about those?
You know, I've been thinking about, because I've been reading through them as one does. Like my initial response is like, I don't fucking care. Like, we already knew all of this shit.
Well, we knew it.
Yeah. I guess, like, you know, it's meaningful to the victims, I believe, maybe. It's illuminating in terms of understanding what the New York Times was sitting on for so long, and how many the various people who felt like they wanted and needed to consult with, who at that point was already a convicted pedophile, convicted in 2011. And a lot of these emails are from like the, you know, 16, 17, whatever.
When Trump was in office.
So that's all interesting, but I don't think it moves any needles whatsoever. Because
I don't know. I think we're going to see to find out.
Like, everyone is still in their places that they were, right? You've got the Trump cultists who, like, they don't care. It doesn't.
I don't know. I think some of them are caring.
It doesn't seem like it, but and then the people who find him useful, who are probably actually in the Epstein files themselves, and so that might make a difference at some point if we get them all. But and then the people who are sort of like where we are, where it's like, yeah, fucking duh, you know, does nobody remember the grab him by the pussy, you know, video before he was elected? Like, I
don't know how Christians could get past that, but then again, Christians. But here's something I thought was interesting. I saw where they said that Bill Clinton had never been to the island.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because they were saying all along that Bill Clinton had whatever. And I'm like, I was always saying to myself, if Bill Clinton had actually done, they would have already put that out. They would have put that out day one.
Yeah. If they had any dirt on Clinton, that would have been out like a decade,
a long time ago. Yeah. But I mean, who knows? Because they're going through it and reading it and whatever. But this is just such a sad place that our country's at. It's so weird that this is what we're discussing, that we have such a person in office that even mingled in this stuff, that even had an association with this man, that even has pictures at parties, and like before all this, like, Everything about Donald Trump is bad. It's always been bad.
Just vile.
Vile.
On every level. It's an eye-opening era for the country.
Yeah, how did people get so sucked into him? Seriously. If you could please speak on behalf of all white people. How is it? No, I'm being, you know what? I'm only kidding. But I'm saying I really don't understand. If we just go back to the basics of the beginning, not this election, but the beginning, he's creepy. Well, he's weird.
He is. Okay, so he had that show, right?
Oh, you're right. You know what? I'm sorry. That gave him a different, right, I forgot.
And, you know, people love a person who's on, people love a celebrity. And then there was like the whole pretty large faction, apparently, of people who just absolutely hated that there was a black man in the White House, and he rang their bell
because he did the birther thing. He was on that whole birther thing, and remember? Yes, he was like all about Barack Obama, and he was sending people to Hawaii or something. All these investigators never got that either. And so he gave them permission. I forgot about the show, the reality show, which reality shows are not actually reality shows, but it's like the idea that people were believing everything that was happening. But I guess that was the point.
Even that they like the fact that he was like a successful businessman.
He's never been a successful businessman.
That is not actually true. You know,
wait. Actually, you know what? Let me back up. That's not true. We got to give Trump some credit because he has been an incredible businessman in office now because he's making so much money off the grift of being president of the United States. Yeah. So if there's ever been a time in his life that he has been brilliant as a businessman, it is right now.
Right. Well, he's a successful grifter, but I mean,
him and his family, and let's not take his daughter out of this, whatever her name is, and because they're the ones who are totally making tons of money.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean,
what's the daughter's name again? I forgot her name. Oh, yeah, right. Ivanka. Let's move on to something that actually really broke my heart this week, and I sent it to you, and that was Jimmy Kimmel. His friend Cleto died, who was also the band leader of his show. And actually, today is Jimmy Kimmel's birthday, which...
Oh, really?
So weird. Yeah, so weird. Yeah, I sent you that video, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about friendships, because for those of you who don't know, on his monologue the day after, which I believe was on the 12th, if you haven't seen it, I think everyone should see this monologue that he did. It was like 22 minutes long. And it wasn't just that you end up crying with him. You could see the love. I mean, and he just, anyways, what did you think about it? Because I know you're not a huge Jimmy Kimmel watcher or fan or whatever, but who thought we would be doing like 2 episodes of Jimmy Kimmel the show, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch any of the late night shows, and I didn't know who Cleto was. I obviously didn't know that his father was also in the band, which was so lovely. Like that part of it, when he talked about that, like being able to help his dad get back to music and have them be able to be together, and that his mom was there, and his mom comes to the show every day.
Like every night comes to the show. Yeah.
I mean, it was just really moving. And it's just, like I think I saw something somewhere else, and after I had watched it, and someone said, this is what masculinity is. Right. Yes. And to sort of bring it back to some of the stuff that floats around out there, the masculinity crisis, the male loneliness crisis, and whatever, like, you don't have to have a crisis if you're just a fucking normal, caring person with good friends and happy relationships. I mean,
you're talking about Scott Galloway. Let's just be open and honest about it on the podcast pivot, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the love, the great love, and what came through was just like this enduring, the power of friendship, and it just made me think of all of my friends. I don't have really friends that I like grew up with, but I grew up as an adult with you and some of my other friends, and how impactful and joyful it is to have those people in your life, and how important it is, I think, for your own sanity and your own growth and all of those things. I mean, it was just a really, really lovely, lovely tribute.
It was a lovely tribute. And for me, and I don't want to embarrass you, but I think the proof, not that people have to prove their friendship, but when it happens, when you have a moment and you step up or you don't, really is kind of telling. And I think what was beautiful was when Jimmy Kimmel said there was no jealousy whatsoever. Like he was, because Cleto was making it before he was, right, with the Paula Abdul thing and whatever else. And then all of a sudden Jimmy Kimmel got this show. And because their friendship was so seamless, there was no jealousy. But Jimmy Kimmel was also like, this is my people. He has to be the band leader. I have to help his dad. I have to make, there wasn't a question in it, and I kind of was thinking about my surgery. And when you came and I know we talk about it in a funny way, but I want to share this with people because I think it's an important thing to understand. Like we were laughing because your family was like, go, please go for 2 weeks, go. Cause you were like telling them Carmen is sick, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm going to go stay with her, whatever. And they were being really funny. Like, please mom, go. But, but you did come out here and you stayed with me for 2 weeks when I was having surgery because I don't have anybody out here and I don't have a husband or whatever. And thank you, Jesus. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have. And I think what was interesting is like, I don't even remember asking you. I remember telling you I'm going to have this surgery, blah, 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 whatever. And you were just like, okay, when is it? I'm going to be there, da, 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 whatever. What do you need? Da, 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 da. And I think that is far more important for people to understand that when you have friendships like that, you need to understand how blessed you are. You have to understand that is real wealth. I have known people with so much money who don't have anybody that they could turn to. So they would talk to the person that they hired. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. That's what my great observation is. There is nobody around this person or these people who they are not paying to be there.
Yeah. And so if you have one friend, I don't care if it's on Zoom or whatever it is you do, like you should be so thankful that you have people in your life that will just talk to you because they want to talk to you and they want to be there for you, Right. But that's kind of what I was thinking about. And I also wanted to stress, because I think it's really important. If I go before you, I would like this exact. I want to see I want the tears were real. I just want to put that out there. Like
noted. We talked about this. And finally, I have to watch Field of Dreams and E.T. and all that.
That's gonna suck if you do that. Then no, I'm actually gonna say that you know what? Since you've never seen them, that will just piss me off that you do it after I die.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying that'll just piss me off more. Like now you do it. No. But it was beautiful. And I also want to talk about the thing of family, because if there's ever been evidence to me, and I know most people don't believe this, I know DNA don't mean jack shit. The tears the way he was feeling, that was his brother. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that,
Absolutely.
But I'm just over the whole blood thing.
Family, I mean, we both have people in our families for various reasons that we do not talk to. And, we have people who we do, but, you go out in the world and you find your people. Mm-hmm. And those people are your family.
And I always say it this way, and people get mad because they don't have an answer, but what if, God forbid, people in your family, you found out that through some accident or whatever, through DNA, that they had been switched at birth? Does this mean all of a sudden you don't love your daughter as much? Right. Or all of a sudden you don't love your father or whatever it is? Those stories have actually happened. So I think more important than DNA is the relationships and the history and the way in which your relationship has evolved. That's not to discount the blood thing. It's just not how I grew up. I just don't have that experience. So,
I mean, I have my blood family with me, but I also have my blood family not with me.
It's toxic, right? That's what I'm talking about. If someone is abusing you verbally or abusing you physically, when you hear, and I know it's hard. I know it's a hard thing to walk away. I know it's hard to walk away from family, whatever, but no one should be treated badly just because you're blood related. Like, that's not a good enough excuse, not to me.
It's not any excuse. I mean, look, I'm brutal about it, and I think you are somewhat, maybe not quite as much as me, but like, when I'm done, I'm done. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, you're out, and you are literally dead to me.
You think you're worse than I am with that?
We might be equal because you do cut people out.
I guess, yeah. But I don't even think it's about cutting people. Well, I mean, it is cutting people out, but I think it's also, I mean, I think the phrase I said when I finally was like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, is I said, I am just a better person without all of you in my life. And you guys are wonderful people, whatever, but you're just not wonderful to me. And I get it. There's no way of fixing that riff, you know? And the thing is it's not a mean thing. It's just like at some point you make a decision that if you're not being your best self, if you're not happy, if you're not finding a way through it, if people are living in guilt, I can't fix that. I can't fix that. That has nothing to do with me and everything to do about you. And so that's how I did it. It's not really about even like, it's not about hate or whatever. It's like, I need to be my best self, and I'm not my best self when the people who are quote unquote DNA related to me are supposedly in my life for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing. But Jimmy Kimmel, I just love him. But I want to get back to you dissing Scott Galloway, because that's what you were doing.
Yes, please.
Do you okay, so people who don't know, Scott Galloway is on a podcast called Pivot. It's with Kara Swisher. It's pretty big time now, but I used to listen to them back in the day, and I don't listen to him anymore, but he's all over the place because he's got a book and he always talks about masculinity and men. And there are some things he says that are good, I think, but it always seems to go back to blaming women and not having money. I don't know. It just seems like it always goes back to that.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, do you listen to him? You don't?
I don't know. I know who he is. I don't know if I followed him on Twitter way back, but
yeah, and then it stopped when I realized.
Yeah, like I used to follow him on Twitter, and then somewhere along the lines, he's like, I just noticed a little bit of a turn, right, where I was like, that seems off. Mm-hmm. And then it started to get more and more like that. So I stopped following him, and I've never listened to his podcast, but I think I kind of get the gist more or less of what he's saying. And I just, I mean, look, money is important.
I know.
People, the ability to make money is important. I think blaming that on,
he tries not to, but that's actually what he's saying. And I think one of the things that he does really well is that he lets men know that it's okay to be men. I don't even know what to say.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, because I think he is trying to say that we are in a culture now that to be a man means to be something else. But he's saying it's okay to cry. It's okay to do all these, telling men it's okay to be all these things. You're still a man. Okay. But then he says things like, but the inability for a man to graduate from college and not be able to get a job, that is detrimental to their like manlyhood or something. And it's like, bitch, it's hard for all of us to get a job. Like, I don't know. Or he'll say things like, when a man can't have a girlfriend or a woman, or they can't find the right spouse, that somehow that's also diminishing men being men. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a weird, I know you're about to go off on me. I'm just giving you little kind of ideas of what he says, but that's why he's getting some pushback. Now, in the same respects, he has gotten some pushback, and he'll say things like, I am going to consider that because I appreciate getting the feedback and I didn't think about it that way or whatever. But that's also part of his shtick, right? I mean, and I give him credit for it. I think that he's trying to help men, particularly white men. You know what I mean? He's trying to help men find their footing in this new landscape. And I can appreciate that. I know. I'm just telling you what I think he's trying to do, because there is a problem with white men. There is a problem with, that's going to be a clip somewhere. white men are having a tough time of it in the political climate, in the economic climate, whatever. I'm just saying they're having a hard time, Andrea, dealing with women, people of color. I don't know. They're going to become the minority. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to speak for Scott Galloway in the way that he's coming across. That's his whole point, is to try to help men find themselves or something. I'm sorry.
There's a lot going on there. I don't even know where to start. White men are doing pretty okay for themselves, I think.
No, there's all these black people who are taking their jobs, and all these minorities taking their jobs.
Well for the rest of us, but like, I don't even. I'm tongue tied. It's so. Like,
okay, but wait. But before you go off,
yeah,
you do know that there is something that has changed over the years, like regarding it's not as easy before. Right? Before, white men used to be able to they would put on a tie and they could get a job. Now they actually have to compete with other people. That's why it feels hard to them, because they have to compete with other people of color who are, if not as qualified, but probably more qualified than they are. And don't get me started with black women. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am just speaking and trying to defend Scott Galloway. That's all I'm doing, and his reasoning. You don't believe that at all?
It's not that I don't believe that. It's just like, oh, so sorry, baby. Do you want a cookie and a glass of milk? I mean, what the fuck? Are they little infants? Are they fucking toddlers that need to be coddled? Like, I am sorry. No. Knock it
the Marlboro Man personification.
This is what it is.
Right. But that is uncomfortable or difficult for them to understand. And so they're walking through that maze. Here's what I'll say. From my perspective as a Black Latina woman, I do see that there's difficulties, especially with my counterparts of white women, who keep thinking there is some need to overdo it with the understanding of what's happening, with Black women or whatever, right? There's kind of this like, now we've gone from hating Black women to now thinking Black women are on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And so there's that weird, like, just all we want is equality. We don't need to be, revered so crazy. Like, we don't need all that. So I do think there's a shift, because I remember growing up, Andrea, and thinking that white people were the beauty standard. They were. And that straight hair was the only way to go. And you know what I mean? Like, people would say to me, like, Carmen, you're not really Black. You're not really Black. That was a compliment from them. They thought that was a compliment, All I'm saying is there is a shift. We can mock Scott Galloway all we want. There is something happening. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in so much trouble for this recording.
There's a shift. There are a lot of shifts happening right now for a lot of people. And most of those people are not in the enviable position that white men are in. And I understand they might be having some fear. Okay. I guess my feeling about it is like, just don't be a dick, right? Like, it's not that hard. Be a good person. Have some empathy. Feel your feelings.
I know, but are you not having empathy right now if you had grown up your entire life, let's pretend you did not grow up in California. You did not grow up around people who are Mexicano with immigrants. Like, you have a very different background than most people. Okay. So let's pretend you grew up as a white man in Kentucky. I'm just saying. Okay. Or Iowa or any of these other places.
Yeah.
And you were always seen as somebody who was manly and smart and brilliant and whatever, regardless of whether it was true or not. Regardless. You were just always seen as look at, I understand that. I understand feeling like all of a sudden now you're okay. You know what? I'll do it this way. When I was at school at UVM, I remember walking into my first biology class, and I walked into this auditorium, and the entire auditorium was all white. There was no other person of color in that room. And I remember because I walked in from the bottom, you know what I mean? Like I didn't come from the top. I had gotten lost and I walked in like the same way the professor was. And I remember looking up and it was like everything else in my life, right? Like when I danced or whatever, or when I was in color guard jump corps, it was always the same thing. So it wasn't as alarming, but it was there and it was noticeable, and I'll never forget it. I don't think most white people have ever walked into a room full of just Black people, just full of people of color. And if they have, they remember it. And it was scary, or I don't know if that's not the right word, scary, or it was whatever it was a acknowledgement. And that's why when you see a few people who are going to like Howard who are white or Asian or whatever, it's kind of interesting to see their point of view. It's kind of beautiful because that's what we want, is a world where people are fine. I'm just saying, if you have lived your entire life never experiencing what it's like to walk into a room and you're being the only one out, and now all of a sudden everything you do every day is you have a Black president, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden that must be jarring. I'm not saying you have to be a dick about it. I'm saying it must be jarring to have to now change what you thought about yourself in the world. Be nice.
I acknowledge that there's probably a sense of loss.
Okay.
And that's about the best I can do. My world view is not that, how do I explain it? Like, there is enough. There is enough for all of us, right? Just because there was a Black president doesn't mean that's a loss of power for anyone. I don't know.
Intellectually, you and I get it. You and I, we get that, but that doesn't take away from some white man in Kentucky who feels a certain way because he doesn't understand that. It doesn't, and it's changing his masculinity. I think the problem is really the definition of masculinity has changed, and I think more men need to understand that the reason why, like I was talking to Billy about this, like gay men, the reason why women tend to connect with gay men is because they are in touch with all sides of who they are. They're not confused. You know what I mean? It's not like this makes you masculine, this makes you feminine, and this makes you whatever. And I'm not talking for all gay men. Some gay men suck. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like anybody else, but I'm saying that overall idea is the reason why I tend to really have no problem hanging out with somebody who's so in touch with every single part of them. Like that would be the perfect man if he was straight. Like a guy is in touch with.
I clearly have a real problem with coddling people. Like, okay, yeah.
You've always been like that though. I know.
Oh, yes, I'm not a coddler. Like, we all have things that are hard for us. And most of the rest of us, all of the rest of us, have to get over it and deal with it. And guess what, bitch? So do you. Like, that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, you've never been a coddler. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, you don't really. Yeah.
I'm not. They're grown men. Gross.
So that's what Scott Galloway is doing, I guess. That's the rub, is the coddling and not the, like, I want to say man up. You know what I mean? Like, actually, but I think it's hard. I want to be as sensitive as possible. I don't know. I know for me growing up, it was really hard, and it's still hard, but it's less hard because now I understand so much more about how things are not actually my fault.
Yeah.
Like where I always felt like the problem was me. Like, and I can't explain to people what it feels like to think, oh, because I'm Black or I'm Latina, I'm not good enough. I don't know how to explain what it feels like to grow up thinking like, well, there's nothing I can do about it, but because I'm Black and Latina, so I'm never going to be enough. whether it's getting a loan or trying to get a job or whatever it is, like just that's infused in your essence. And I can only imagine the reverse is happening for white men. That's all I'm trying to say. Not that they don't think they're good enough, because I don't think we ever gonna get there, but that they are having a conflict with understanding they are not the be all end all in society right now. And I don't think it's easy for people to accept people of color. They want to, but I don't think they really can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is, I've said this for a long time, like it's like the last gasp of a dying monster, right? Like I think some of that is what we are experiencing now. But I just can't excuse it. I just can't.
Did you think I was excusing it?
No.
I'm not trying
I'm
to
not saying
excuse
you
it.
are, but like
I'm just acknowledging it. Like
Yeah.
I just I'm not excusing it. I think I'm not a fan of Scott Galloway either, but I like that he's at least no one else is mentioning the problem. He may not be mentioning it in the way in which I think might be more helpful to them. But he is talking about it. And it's one of my frustrations that I've had with so many of my friends who are white, who were not talking. Like, I don't need you to talk to me about what's happening with race relations or politics. I need you to go talk to your white friends. It's kind of that same thing. Like the problem isn't over here. The problem is you need to explain that having a Black president actually was not that big of a deal. It's a long time coming. And don't get me started with the woman thing. Like, you know, like having a woman president, that's a whole other thing. But yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, do we have to notice the time? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. We're all over the place today. All this to say, Jimmy Kimmel was amazing. And I think that's what brought this up, as you said, that's what a man is.
Like somebody else said that. That's masculinity, right? Like
that's
good, solid friendship, family, love, joy, bringing your people along with you when you're successful.
Yes. Which I'm sure people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and all the like, what's the guy, Tim Bezos? I don't know what his name is.
Jeff.
Whatever, a billionaire motherfucker. I'm sure he brings them along too. Like, I'm sure they do.
And not your cronies, like, you know.
Like real friends,
Real friends, right? Yeah. If you have any. If you don't, that's a problem.
Yeah. So everyone's homework is to figure out who Scott, what's his name? Galloway is. Check out what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel. That's more important. Go check out Jimmy Kimmel's beautiful, I don't know, it was really well done. And it was, I think it was November 12th monologue. And keep reading up on the Epstein files. I don't really think you need to keep reading up on them.
You don't need to keep reading. And call your friends.
Call your friends, especially your white male friends. Make sure they're okay. Right, everyone.
They need some love.
I'm being more compassionate. I'm just saying. She's not a coddler. That is the truth, though. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. We'll see you next week. Bye. That was a weird episode. Thanks for stopping by. All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.